It's the OK Football Luton Town show, and I'm Ollie K. I'm here in the heart of Hightown, in the Bricklayers Arms in Luton, and with me, my co-hosts, I got Wedge.
Good morning.
I got Phil.
Hello, everyone.
And we're going to reflect on a week of ups and downs. Yeah. How are we both doing, by the way?
I'm all right because I didn't go to Blackburn, so I'm feeling all right. I think it's one of those situations for me. I was reflecting on it last night on the way back home from the train. I went into London for a gig, and I was thinking, I didn't expect any points from the Blackburn away game. So, as sad as it is, how sad can I be about the fact that we lost a game that is entirely predictable what the outcome was going to be? So
yeah, it's a bit sad that we've kind of already given up any hope of getting a point on the road, isn't it? So
yeah. We've got 4 points on the road. We won against Millwall and we drew against Pompey.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the long.
And that was quite early on in the season as well, wasn't it?
So well, I was going to wait for the Rowan Grapevine segment, but I'll tell you our away form if you want.
Yeah, go.
So okay, away form: 1-1, drawn 1, lost 8. We scored 7 and conceded 23. That's pretty bad, isn't it?
It's bleak.
It's horrible.
Only Pompey and Plymouth have conceded more away from home than us.
Yeah, it's bleak. I was talking to Andy from the PO Forecast over the weekend, and I messaged him on Friday, and he didn't appreciate it at all. Which I would have been exactly the same. So if Andy is watching this, then fair play. But he was just like praying that we were going to lose because everyone is now starting to realise that Luton away from home are a surefire win for whoever the home team is. And it's a case of actually we are absolutely in the midst of a relegation battle.
Well, whether Rob wants to admit it or not.
Yeah. And I'm worried that he's not admitting it. Like, see things for what they are. You know, we are there's a smallish gap between us and the 5 teams I think it is below us. But they've got games in hand. They're picking up. We've been overtaken by QPR.
Yeah. Good turnaround of form from QPR.
Yeah.
Shall we dive into this then?
Yeah.
It's our news segment. I heard it through Rowan's Grapevine.
I heard it through Rowan's Grapevine. Shamona.
Right, chaps. So, 2 games this week, and we only do this once a week. It's a shame we didn't do it after the Stoke game because there would have been some optimism from us lot here. So, Luton 2, Stoke 1.
Yeah, it gave us optimism, but with a sense of hesitation because good to get 3 points. And, I think if we hadn't have won that game, we probably would have felt even worse than we did against Blackburn because Stoke were poor.
We were saying that the worst team.
I disagree. Stoke weren't as bad as everyone I've seen on social media. Everyone say, "Oh, Stoke was so bad. They were the worst team we saw." Stoke weren't so bad. Yeah, defensively they weren't great, but I think in the middle third and the final third, they have some talent, and they were all right.
I don't know. I just felt like they were the worst team to come to KR this year.
Worse than Cardiff?
Worse than Hull and Cardiff.
Hull could have beaten us 3-1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're bottom of the league.
Oh, Woodwork was the best player.
Yeah. I don't know. I was sitting there watching them play, and they've got some talented players, don't get me wrong. Their number 10, I think it's Juno. Good player, but he spent most of his time trying to win a foul.
Bae John Ho.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, my pronunciation. I apologise, everyone. But the reality of it is that every single time that he got the ball or he was anywhere near the ball, he flung himself to the floor.
Sounds like Chong, mate.
So
sounds like Colton Morris.
But it was that they were bad, and it was a situation where I thought when they went 1-0 ahead, how are we going to respond? And to be fair, we did. We did respond, and we gave it a good go, and we got the goal back before half time, which was good.
I was saying to you just before we scored that we got that corner, and I was saying to you, I've never seen a team be pushed so far back coming to Kenilworth Road. Like they had all their men in their final third, and we got the corners. Like we need to make this pressure count, and fortunately, good ball in by Clicker and header from Morris.
And we only really score from set pieces. It feels
these days that is true. Yeah. I wish I had the stats for it.
Yeah,
but both our goals against Stoke were
Yeah.
set pieces, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the
free
second one was a second phase from a set piece.
Yeah. But it was. I just felt like they were pretty poor, and we did what we had to do. And that is it. We are having to win. And where does the turning point come with the home form? When it's a case of actually, rather than it being a case of, oh, we could win, we have to win because our away form is so shockingly bad. And because it's getting to that point where already, like I say, we're nearly halfway through the season, and our points tally is dire. Like, it's really, really bad.
So
really bad.
so you're saying 7 losses on the spin away from home is not worse
acceptable.
than shockingly bad?
I'm trying to be PG.
Yeah. I think if you look at it, our home games recently are against inferior opponents, Stoke, Cardiff, Hull. And then when you look at our away form, they are Leeds, Norwich, Blackburn.
Just wait until the big swinging dicks turn up at Kenilworth Road
exactly.
February onwards.
And we've got to try and think, well, if we're playing the big teams at home, we need to somehow change the away form when we are playing teams like QPR away and things like who have picked up in form, as we've mentioned. We just need to get all the points we can at home on the board.
And it's not like we're blowing teams away at home either, by the way. These are battling, scraping wins.
I call them sweaty wins.
Yeah.
That's where I was kind of going with Stoke, is that when we played Cardiff and Hull, we were like, we did well to get a win out of that based on the way we're playing. But Stoke is like, if we don't beat these, then it's bad. Like we were the only team that looked like, I think, win. Apart from maybe 15, 20 minutes in the second half, Stoke got a bit of a foothold in it.
Yeah.
We looked, I think, like the only team that could go ahead and win that game.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 90th minute winner didn't instill enough confidence and jubilation heading into the weekend, did it?
The way everyone responded to it, because there isn't much to celebrate at the moment. So everyone was really, like, even myself, I let myself get carried away. I predicted a win against Blackburn thinking, is this the corner? Is this the corner? I'm just like a rat scurrying through a maze at the moment, you know, just all corners, like turning the corners. Nope, just another corner.
Yeah. It's difficult to be enthused by it. Like even coming here, it's one of those. Not that it's the Brickies' fault, but like you have to G yourself up a little bit on a Sunday morning. And it's more of a. We've said it before about it being a sort of a therapy session, but it gets to a point where it's an away day weekend, and you kind of go, oh, I've got to talk about this. You know, it's a little bit depressing, to be honest with you.
At least when you go to therapy, it helps.
It's
not helping.
Right, so Stoke might have been a false dawn, although I guess we've got Derby next. We'll talk about Derby later in, you know, the Sluga 6 Prediction League. And we've got to see how we build on the home form. But Blackburn away. So 2-0. Both goals coming from Premier League loanees. That's a good idea, getting in some Premier League loanees, right? You know,
you're saying that a Bundesliga loanee isn't the same kind of quality.
It's a Bundesliga loanee. Like not Kraus is one of our best players this season, but Kraus was also he was being bounced out of Mainz. I spoke to a German commentator from DAZN about him, and he said, yeah, every manager he's played for has lost faith under him because he hasn't developed the way they are expecting. So, you know, no, he's not the same. It's not like he's young, he's 23, but it's not like picking up like our fellow Kozia Dubry, you know, from Brighton.
I mean, I said that in jest because I'm not the biggest fan of Kraus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, the way that I looked at it against Stoke, the majority of our players were playing at a decent standard that game. We were playing some good football, and I just felt, you know, Hashi aside, because again, not being played in the right position, there was one player who seemed to be behind everyone else in quality, which was Kraus. And then when I look at other games where the team aren't playing as well, Kraus looks good-ish.
He's German Alan Campbell.
I mean, I feel like he is. Yeah, he runs around a lot, but does he affect the game?
No.
Not particularly. And we saw it with the Blackburn first goal. he got turned, possibly nutmegged. I couldn't see from the TV angles, and he just seems to be beaten too easily, and just doesn't get to the ball. And when we are attacking forwards, I'm not the biggest fan of Krause, I will be honest. But then that middle, you know, you got Krause, Clark, Nakamba. None of them seem to get a proper stranglehold on the game, which is what you want from a centre midfielder, really.
It's not like anyone's covering themselves in glory, to be honest. I think Clark's been, I said it in my post-match reaction, like and subscribe to our YouTube. It's on there. Check it out. Clark was the best of a bad bunch. No one's covering themselves in glory now. And we go to these away games and we make errors and then we just capitulate. And there's no way back in. Like, as soon as the other team concedes a goal, that's what made the Stoke game so special, because we conceded the first goal and then we got back into it. Yeah. And that's a rarity this season, because Rob Edwards has built a team that's soft.
Flaky.
Yeah.
Not willing to put their body on the line. And, I mean, again, the Blackburn first goal, he had 3 men round him. He had Clark, Adebayo, McGuinness, and still got the shot away. No one really kind of wanted, oh, look, there's the ball. I'm going to go and win it. Like, oh, there's the ball. I'll see what they're going to do. Oh, look, it's in the back of the net.
It's like under 10s football, isn't it? Like, everyone's just like, it's the ball. Let's go to the ball.
Yeah. Literally ball watching. Yeah. I just want to sort of back up what Wedge said about Krause as well. And
it's a pylon.
Yeah, it is.
It's
a
pylon.
I feel like I said it in jest, but actually, the more I think about the comparison with Alan Campbell, the more I think that it's actually spot on, because he does give his all. I think that he does get in. He does get stuck in. You will see Krause going, and that's ultimately what fans want. They want, and that's why Alan Campbell was held in high esteem with so many. But the reality is, he runs around. He's not massively creative, and he looks like he's trying, but flatters to deceive, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe it's just where we sit, Wedge. But I don't know. I'm not buying it. I don't think that he'll be near the start and line up in January. I think that we've realised that he's not as good as
when people use Clark as a scapegoat and use Krause as. I mean, I'm not going to say that people look at him as like the Messiah or anything like that, but people seem to give him more of the benefit of the doubt than Clark. And I think Clark, personally, he's over the last couple of games has been probably one of our best players.
He's not new, so he doesn't get away with it as much.
No, but to be honest, like, even new signings, they get a lot of grilling. Like, Hashi's coming for a lot of stick, and the reality is, it's not helping playing the poor guy left centre back. Like, play people. If you can't play round pegs and round holes, at least try and get like a sort of roundish object and put it into a round hole. Because I don't understand why. Firstly, there were no changes to the lineup. You know, third game in a 3-game week. Yes, look,
no subs midweek as well.
No subs midweek, so everyone's gassed as it is, and then everyone goes away. And let's talk about the subs. So, okay, Woodrow comes on, Liam Walsh comes on. Liam Walsh, he's going to have his feet up over Christmas. In all fairness, I think they should.
He has his feet up all the time.
Yeah.
Normally halfway up someone's shin.
It's crazy. Yeah, he's either off sick in the physio room or he's got his feet up at home because he's had a straight red. You know, that's a 4-game ban now.
Yeah. Second red card.
Well, is it definitely 4?
It's 4. It's a second straight red. So it goes 3, then 4. If he gets another one, when he gets another one, it's 5.
There won't be any games left in the season.
I know. Like, and I said in my post-match, like and subscribe. I said in my post-match that is he the worst Luton Town signing of all time? And he has ability. Like, undoubted ability. You know, Rob could see it for Everton under 4s or whatever the hell he was watching all those years ago. But what's he doing? Stay on your feet. You know, the player wasn't going anywhere.
Moron.
No.
Yeah.
Absolute moron.
I've mentioned it before. I mean, that's 2 red cards, both of them straight reds, both of them in the other team's half. if it was closer to our goal, bit of a rash challenge, you know, I'm not saying I would forgive him, but just look at where you are on the pitch. What's going on up here in his head?
I don't know why you're diving in at that point. You know, stay on your feet. Yeah, if anything, just body barge him.
Yeah.
You know, let them know you're there. Just stay on your feet, and then you're not going to be up off the ground. Your studs are not going to be showing, and then the ref doesn't have that decision to make.
The ball had been flicked 15 yards further forward before he made contact as well. Right? I mean,
so late.
Yeah. I mean, again, the situation is for us at the minute is that it's pretty bleak. Let's be honest. It's not going to be lost on the players. They're not stupid, but going around and making rash decisions like he's been doing every time he comes on the pitch, it's moronic. And I can completely understand why Morris reacted the way that he was reacting. Whether it was a case of get off the pitch before you get further punishment, or whether it's actually you're being a complete
further punishment. The man had just been sent off.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Like you can get for failing to leave the pitch, you can get an extended ban and stuff like that. There's all
wouldn't be a bad thing.
But no, it wouldn't be. But the point is that I'm of the opinion that I reckon that Morris is just absolutely furious because he's meant to come on and help the team. He's meant to come on and try and do something a little bit different. And Edward says, he's a clever player, this, that, or the other. He can come on and make a change. Well, he's making a change by putting us further in the mire. So what are you about? Like,
yeah,
I drove past the training ground on the way here, and I was hoping he was already doing laps. If that was John Still, he'd be doing laps until the cows come home. He didn't put in anything more than yesterday, did he? He did 11 minutes or whatever it was. So get running around the training ground.
It's like every week.
I'm trying so hard not to swear.
Look, I know. fair play for not swearing. Like every week, I drive past the training ground as well. Yeah. Every week, we do this at the Brickies Sunday morning, and especially after like very poor home performances. Although the wins kind of disguise it, it's like putting a little plaster on like a horrendous cut that's just gushing blood. You expect the players to be out there on the training ground, but they're not, because you know Rob's too nice, and you know, look, we got to discuss the club's position with him, because quite simply the club are not going to get rid of Rob Edwards. Anyone would have said after the Middlesbrough game, where Rob was pretty much resigned to the fact that he was going to lose his job, or you can read between the lines and say he was going to resign or something. Like Simon Oxley, Simon is very restrained, and he was saying, yep, well, that looks like it's Rob Edwards' final game at Luton Town. And that is, you know, you pretty much have to really be inferring it for Simon Oxley to be saying that. To come back to this and the whole pre-Hull program notes, where Gary Sweet was like, we're coming together, and you'll see it today at Hull, Leeds and Norwich, and we haven't seen anything since. We've seen the best display at home since Sunderland against Stoke, and that was about it. But the Derby game is going to be very important now, isn't it?
And remember the context of that as well. Like we were just saying, Stoke were poor as well. So
I think they were all right.
No, they're poor. But yeah, I mean the Derby game is there's a lot riding on that. I think that's a huge game. And
but is there a lot riding on it?
Yeah, we've got two away games after.
No, but I'm saying if Derby beat us, he's not going anywhere. like pretty much, he's confirmed he's getting the window.
Our league position, there's a lot riding on it.
Yeah.
In that sense, if you take it away from the Rob Edwards side of things, and it's actually a case of survival, that situation, then there is a lot riding on it. Because like I said earlier on, there's a lot of pressure that's starting to build on these home games, because we're just not. We're a gimme away from home. We're a gimme for the opposition. There's no fear factor there. And the thing is that I find it interesting, because I obviously do the opposition preview, like and subscribe. But like I speak to the guys, and they're sort of wary of us because
Luton, they've just come down. They're a parachute payment club.
But then they see us, and then they kind of go, maybe I shouldn't have predicted a draw. Maybe I should have just been like, we will actually go with form. Like Blackburn in the week, like speaking to Dirk, like he was very wary, and I was like, don't worry about it, mate. We're away from home. You're at Ewood Park, and it's not going to be a problem for you. Don't worry about it. And that like I say, that's the sad state of affairs at the minute. Is that we're going into away games, and just thinking, well, have got a week off from worrying about the expectation, because the expectation is nil point.
Thank God it's not a double game week, because double game weeks are just depressing at the moment.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they are. So yeah,
but the Christmas period's coming up, and we've got a wafer thin squad now.
Not helped by Walsh being suspended before.
Exactly, like it was so funny when the club tweeted, Walsh returns for Blackburn. That's ironic, isn't it?
He just basically had a road trip. Had a road trip.
Maybe he has family around that area.
yeah. Oh, muppet.
Yeah.
Absolute muppet.
So the club have publicly said, and Rob has publicly said that he's getting the January window. Some reputable sources have come out and said we've got Christ Makusu. And Gary Sweet was asked by a couple of fans yesterday as well, is there truth in this? He didn't confirm it, but he said
he was sarky, wasn't he?
He was sarky. He said, well, I don't think that we spend money, do we? Look, this is £1.5 million for a second tier Belgian defender. We're not signing flipping Bobby Moore.
We spent 8 million on McGuinness, and
it's 8 million with all the add-ons. Now he's made his Ireland debut, scored his first goal, so that's probably extra bonuses. Thankfully, we'll probably never realise the add-on based off promotion. But it's probably.
Do we get a
close.
discount if we get relegated?
No, it doesn't work that way. No,
Cardiff stay up.
No takesy backsies, man. All sales are final.
I mean, going back to sort of like 2020, and I'm not trying to cause a pylon. I'm not trying to cause.
No censorship here, mate.
But like, I feel like just the general way that Gary Sweet in particular is conducting himself at the minute is rather salty, and I don't think it's going down well. Again, where I sit in the stands, I can see Gary Sweet. I look to my left and he's there, right? And
Phil is in the director's box.
I'm not in the director's box. I've got nowhere near that level of clout or money. Or
comfort.
Or comfort. But there's a guy that was sat in front of him at the Stoke game, right? And they scored after 5 minutes. And let's face it wasn't a strong start by Luton, and it was like only 4 or 5 minutes in. I think.
I told you Stoke were decent.
Yeah. They were for 4 or 5 minutes.
Putting the ball between our two of our three centre halves.
It's just a straight ball down the middle, isn't it?
Yeah. And then this guy that was sat probably about 10 feet away from him, just turned around, looked Gary Sweet in the eye, and just went and Gary Sweet was like, sit down sort of thing. And then when we equalised, he was really keen to get the guy's attention. I was like, Gary, I love the fact that you're a fan and all that you've done for the club, but conduct yourself better than that. Like, you're being dragged into that. And then
he gave
when
a
you
proper
get
sarky kind of wave,
and then you get the sarky stuff.
Goodbye, because we've equalised.
I've been told that someone went up to Gary during the Stoke game and asked where the money's gone, which is a question, not an accusation, because obviously we got a fair whack of Premier League money, and pretty much all of our signings have been free signings. So someone asked, where's the money gone? Why are we not investing in the playing staff other than McGuinness, who is a fee up to £10 million? And I've been informed Gary was pissed in the not in the director's box, in the bit where they go during half time for their tea, crumpets, sandwiches, cheese plates and whatnot. And he wanted to fight him.
Really?
And that would have been funny, but go back to conduct yourself a bit better, or at least do a press release. Tell people. Tell people what's going on. Like, why are you backing Rob Edwards? But right now, like, giving Rob Edwards a window is like giving the Lego Death Star Lego piece, the Lego Death Star Lego set, which is the most notoriously difficult Lego set, to a 2-year-old. Because why are we giving Rob Edwards a window? We need to hear it. Like, not just from Rob Edwards saying, we've been discussing the window. We've been discussing it. We actually need to know, why is Rob Edwards being given a window when in reality it's been a year since that Arsenal game where he fully stamped his philosophy on Luton Town and we've conceded 103 goals in 365 days. Oh, I'm sorry, Wedge. 103 goals in a year. It's pretty bleak.
I mean, that's not an ethos, is it?
I know half of that was in the majority of that was in the Premier League. But still, we've conceded. We conceded. Like, I think we need to concede 2 goals to match the amount we conceded the entire. No, or maybe we conceded the same amount of goals. Someone correct me in the comments. We conceded the same amount of goals as we did the whole of 22-23.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by it either. That's the worst thing, is that I'm genuinely not surprised. We concede so easily.
It's the new norm, mate.
Yeah. And like you say, over the Christmas period, we've got 2 trips to the west that are not going to be easy, not by a long stretch. It's horrible, isn't it? Isn't it horrible?
Because I mean, look at this season and the way we've played. We've not come on leaps and bounds or anything at all, and it generally makes me think. I don't think that the board were ever serious about staying in the Premier League.
No. Well, it would have been a happy coincidence. It would have been like a free bet or free hit or whatever.
And that's, to me, that's quite sad, the fact that, you know, you get into the Premier League and you are literally there to collect the money, give the fans the whole fact that we can say we've been in the Premier League, but I'd have wanted to stay in the Premier League.
It's always been about securing the long-term future of the club with Power Court. But the thing is, Power Court was getting done regardless of whether we got into the Premier League or not. I don't know how the club were planning on securing those finances, because we had David Wilkinson on the podcast last year. He did a hatter or lower, which I know we don't do much anymore, but you know, we do so many other shows, there's no time for it. And he said the club will never take on debt. The club will never borrow. How were the club planning on paying for Power Court? Like, what was one of the board of directors? I know Paul Ballantyne's pretty wealthy. Was he planning on fronting the cash and then giving a 0 interest loan to the club? Who knows? Who knows? But the Premier League was the only way Power Court was getting built, in my opinion. And now it seems like I'm not expecting us to drop 40, 50 million in a window, but I am expecting us to sign different amounts. And this guy, Christ Makum, whatever his name is, Christ Makusu, this is sort of an indication of where we should be looking, because you know what? There is a premium for talented English players in the English pyramid. But if you go abroad, Netherlands, Belgium, like where our new guy in recruitment's from, Yusuf, I can't think of his last name, wherever he's from, he's been looking at I mean, he's an English lad, but he was working with Den Bosch, so he's obviously been working with not one of the big clubs in the Dutch league, so he's sort of been working to a budget, and he has a black book of like all the little talent in the lower leagues. So okay, that is the market that we should be targeting. But I still believe like Rob Edwards is not the one to lead us forward, but he's going to get a go, isn't he? He's going to get a load of new playthings. He's going to mess up the Lego Death Star.
It seemed inevitable, didn't it? It seemed inevitable, and it's. I think that there is a regression in terms of how we play as well. We don't play. I've mentioned it before. We don't play good football. Like, we don't play attractive, good to watch football. And I was speaking to Matt Aquino on the concourse before the Stoke game, and I was saying that we've mentioned it on the floor. I don't want to sort of wax lyrical about the situation and keep going on about it, but like the difference in what we're experiencing between last year and this year, it does come down to the quality of the centre of the park. And I was explaining to Matt, and I think it's a fair point. People can disagree, but we had a player in Ross Barkley that played the right pass at the right time. And knowing the system that we would play with the wing backs, right? And how important they were to the system. What I found last season was that Barkley was playing in the likes of Kabore and Doughty in at the right time, 20 yards further up the pitch. This season, there's still that same ethos of getting the ball out to the wings, but whoever's playing in the wing-back positions are that much deeper because the ball's going out to them too early. And there's just, it's clunky. And I watch us play, and it feels like, I say, it's more through hope. And then we get a set piece, and you're thinking, right, this is the chance. Rather than it being an open play thing, it's got to come from a set piece when we've manufactured a way forwards to the top end of the pitch, rather than it being us playing through the opposition team. And the whole point of that's a very finite sort of explanation about it. But the point is that I watch us now, and I just think, we're just not fun to watch. There's the going back to basics, and going back to basics is, yes, at home we've scraped these wins against these, as you said earlier on, Wedge, like these inferior teams, as we perceive them, that are probably they've got every chance of finishing above us. But that we're only scraping and winning battles at home, and that's it.
We don't attack in numbers. You watch other teams; they'll have 6 players all hitting the penalty box. We'll get 4, maybe. You look at the opportunity yesterday with Adebayo had a shot on the edge of the box, then it got parried out, went out to Chong, and then Chong got it on target. Keeper saved it. There's not another Luton Town player anywhere near the 6-yard box. Adebayo's had a shot. It's been saved. He's probably thinking, oh, that's a shame that didn't go in. And instead of reacting,
standing still,
and you're thinking, Chong's got the ball in, I'm going to go again. Him, I think it was Clark and Morris, are all just 8-10 yards away from where you want to be attacking when that second phase is coming in. And you've got, who else was in midfield yesterday? You got Brownie, don't know where Brownie was. Kraus, your 2 wing backs. We need to be attacking in numbers to support the front too, and we're just not getting that. You looked at the Blackburn second goal yesterday. Ball got played down the line. Chongi stuck a foot out. Don't know what he was doing there. Ball got crossed in, and guess what? They've got a left midfielder coming in at the back stick to pick up any loose balls.
It's all tactical, and goes back to the point where we say we only score from set pieces. What the hell are they doing on the training ground? What is Rob Edwards doing on the training grounds? Like, he's just going around being best mates with everyone.
Probably he's seen more people in the medical room because they're all injured. Maybe spending all his time in there with the players that can't play.
Oh, with his kid, Liam Walsh. I almost called him Louis Walsh. Yeah, he's a good kid. Man's 27. Like, if you saw the post-match where he was saying, yeah, Liam Walsh, he's a good kid. Mate, he's 27. He's not a youth team prospect. He's actually a player that has... come in. He's been bounced out of Swansea, not offered a new deal, and I don't see the virtue of Liam Walsh being a Luton Town player now. I really don't. And they gotta ensure that he is there not on the bench, but strapped down, tied down, I don't know, in the stand, so that they're making him watch the game like Clockwork Orange style. Throughout the Christmas period, because for me it looks like he's just got he's got Christmas off paid.
The community work that Luton do, which is typically
they should have him picking up rubbish on the M1, mate.
He should be doing everything.
It's at a standstill anyway, so it's not dangerous. Is it?
But no, in all seriousness, he should be taking on everything over the Christmas holiday. He should have no excuse to be away from any event of any nature. He should be doing everything because he
should be going to the L&D.
Not helping his teammates.
His salary needs to be. He needs to buy as many Nintendo Switches or whatever the kids are playing with these days out of his weekly salary.
Lego Death Stars.
Buy Lego Death Stars and take it to the L&D and give them out to every kid there. Because
instead, he's probably just going to run in and rugby tackle some surgeon doing brain surgery, isn't he? Instead. But it's just something I've just thought of, like. The bench, Rob Edwards clearly has no confidence
no faith
in the bench.
Those guys.
We mentioned it. Played 90 minutes against Stoke Tuesday after already playing at the weekend. Doesn't make any changes. And you've got... Put some youth on there. He was playing Nelson at the beginning of the season. you've got Joe Johnson, who's a left-sided.
He was trying to prove
player.
a point, mate. He was trying to. Phil said it like after the Burnley game. He was trying to prove a point that we needed new signings. Because at that point, I think we'd only made 2 new signings.
And again, same sort of timescales. A few weeks, just a couple of weeks before the end of the window for the Burnley one, and now it's a couple of weeks until the start of the window. And it does make you want. I mean, obviously, this new player that we've been linked to.
Well, he's going to play, isn't he?
Well, it
because
also,
we've got no
it
one
makes
else.
you realise the seriousness of the situation is the fact that usually in the January transfer window, everything happens right at the back end of it.
Yeah.
The fact that we've acknowledged, that's the one thing I will say about giving them credit for, if that's the way it pans out, is that we've realised that this is an absolute disaster at the minute.
Well, Gary Sweet doesn't like agents, so the fact that he's doing business in the January window as well is very
business
very
at all,
telling.
but business early as well
Yeah.
is very telling about just how dire the situation is.
It is.
We've not got any time for our segments this week, have we?
No. We'll do. Look, we'll cheer everyone up. Let's spin the wheel. It's OK Football's Wheel of Games.
It's time for the Wheel of Games, Wheel of Games, Wheel of Games, Wheel of Games.
Let's spin the wheel, guys.
Hatters Heritage.
Hatters
So this is replaced Impressions, because Impressions after my Tom Krause impression, which got cut. It's
spot
not
on as well.
It was really good. I heard him in a 3 Counties radio interview the day before as well. Right, so Hatters Heritage is essentially using hattersheritage.co.uk. I will give the guys a player, and then they both have to have a guess how many appearances they made for the Hatters, and whoever's closest wins.
Okay, cool.
And you're going to have to help me out with my maths, because I know the appearances, but I don't. My maths is terrible, so if one of you says a number and the other says another number, I'm going to have to.
So
you guys are going to tell me who's
we're keeping
closer.
tabs on the difference. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we doing?
exactly.
Best of 3, or is it? Just
No,
straight
straight
up?
up shot.
Straight shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So, how many times did Ricky Hill play for Luton Town?
Good one. Okay.
I'll be honest, if I'd listened to your videos more often, I'd probably know this one.
And
if you went on hattersheritage.co.uk, you'd know.
And also, I'm 2 out of 10, Phil. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, I will go.
I got 0 out of 10. You remember?
I know, because I set you the questions.
Yeah. I would have got 1 out of 10, but I purposefully flopped the last one.
You did. You gave it up. You'd thrown the towel in at that point. Okay, Ricky Hill. I will go for 335.
The pressure of not being absolutely wildly wrong here.
Are you going higher or lower?
I'm going to go higher.
Okay.
I'm going to say 408.
Well, then you've won, because it was 508.
508. Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. Go on, Ricky.
That's I said 508, didn't I?
Because he played from 76, 77, made his debut against Bristol Rovers, scored on his debut as well as a 17-year-old. Then he played all the way through to 1989 before moving to France. What a career Ricky had. 508 appearances.
Legend.
And I'm not having a brain fart here, and he did manage us in the late 90s, didn't he?
He did 99, 2000. Best said. The least said about that, the better, because it wasn't. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest run of form. He came in, then Lil Facillo took over, and then Joe Kinnear, who had been hired as a director of football, he took over. He sort of forcibly took over from Lil Facillo.
That'd have been a lovely segue if we were doing a joke this week, but we're not doing one.
Yeah. Joe Kinnear, rest in peace. But you know what we do have? We have Mark the Hatter's super question of the week.
Mark the Hatter, he's put a question to us. Mark the Hatter, he's put a question to us.
So here we go. Mark the Hatter's super question of the week. He'd like to say a big thanks to Will from Luton Facts and Figures, but also you can check these all out at hattersheritage.co.uk. Double bubble for Hatters Heritage. Rog Wash will be, putting an extra check in the mail to me this week. I'm kidding. I don't get it.
I was going to say
a voluntary thing. Yeah. Right. Luke was the most common first name of Luton Town players in the 2010s. There were 9 in total. Can you name the 9 Lukes?
Berry.
In the 2010s.
Guttridge.
Bolton.
Wilkinson.
What you said? Berry.
Freeman.
Freeman.
I got 7 out of 10 when I did this. By the way, you guys are on 5. Don't look at the iPad.
Oh, I'm looking at you.
You got 5. 4 more to go. Four more to go. There are 2 that you guys are not going to get. Do you want me to just help you out?
Give us the ones we're not going to get.
Okay, Luke Gambin.
Oh yeah, Maltese international Luke Gambin.
Yeah. Luke Trotman.
Never would have got
He
that.
played one FA Trophy game.
Never have got that.
Youth products. And Luke Graham. He played in our 2011 playoff campaign season. I think he had 11 games that season.
Okay. Yeah, we never got that.
You're never going to get it. Luke Rooney.
Oh, Rooney.
Rooney.
Yeah,
we got the obvious ones.
We got the obvious
I'm happy
ones.
with that.
Yeah, well done. I got 7 out of 10. 7 out of 9 when I did that.
Above 50%, that's a win.
Yeah.
But now it's time to look ahead and get an update from Phil for the Sluga 6. And a brief look ahead to the Derby game, I guess.
We'll do a brief look at the Sluga 6 as well.
Sluga 6. Sluga 6.
So, guys, the Sluga 6 this week was a double game week. Guys from Stoke hit the nail on the head, and they actually made some real good progress up our league. Ollie still remains in top spot, but it has actually got really quite tight.
How am I still top?
I don't know.
Everyone else is
I don't
really
know.
rubbish.
But everything else is bunched up, and it's actually quite exciting because it's finally, I feel like I'm part of it. Other than just hosting it, I actually feel like I'm part of it. Beefy keeps on making quite ridiculous comments about what the Luton score is going to be. So, Beefy, get it together. Take it seriously. I know you're bottom now, but you can't just fluff this, all right?
I think his last one, didn't he say 1,800 or something? It would have been 3 goals every second.
Yeah, he's making a mockery of it. So just because you're bottom, Beefy, stop whining, all right?
Oh, he's bottom.
He's bottom. I'm not bottom. Oh, yeah, this is why I'm really enthused by it.
You go, Phil. You go.
So is that a hollow 4th place now, is it?
It's a hollow 4th place because Beefy keeps on whinging and saying that we're going to lose by hundreds of goals. But yeah,
thousands of goals.
Thousands of goals, yeah. But we've got in the Sluga 6 this week, obviously it's a single game week, thankfully, and we've got the early kickoff against Derby, which will be on the TVs if you're not actually making it there.
They'll also be showing it here at the Bricklayers Arms. Go check it out. They got a massive Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Enormous. It's a pretty legit Christmas tree.
It's a proper tree. But yeah, so we've got Derby. Derby are obviously off of a properly confidence boosting 4-0 win at home to Pompey, and they were really impressive, and it's going to be a difficult one. It's one of those ones where we have to try and get 3 points because, like I said, there's this pressure on our home games. It'll be a lovely Christmas present, I'll be honest with you, for us to get a win because God knows we don't want to be carrying on with the same sort of glum, horrible feeling we've got right now.
Heading into 2 away games after that as well, isn't it? So I think it's 3 points. I can't think we can't be happy with accepting anything less than 3 points against Derby, personally. I'm excited to see. I say excited. It'd be nice to see Colo and Sonny Bradley coming back as well.
I don't think Colo's in the team.
Colo, he keeps coming on as sub.
Oh, does he? Yeah, because it's all about Jerry Yates there.
Yeah. He came on. I watched him the other day. He came on against Pompey and he nearly scored straight away. He's got an unbelievable goal scoring record. I think they said on the commentary that he scored 10 goals against Pompey, and it's one of his most scored against opponents.
There have been some good games for James Collins against Pompey. Yeah.
I really hope that he comes on and that he gets a great ovation because
a great
he was
ovation.
Excellent for us.
He was. It was. I think the Championship was a step too far for James Collins, but
I feel like you can see that in his goals now as well. Like I say, he was great for Derby last year in the promotion league from League One, but now he's finding it a bit tougher, and he's finding it more difficult to get minutes. But the one thing you'll get from Colo all the time, even though he looks like he's doing it in slow motion, he will continue to run and run and run and run. And
he came into the Championship under Graham Jones as well.
I think he scored 14 goals that season.
Yeah.
Harry Cornick as well. I think that was Harry Cornick's most prolific season for Luton Town under Graham Jones. And you know what? I think we're ahead of where under Graham Jones, we were actually better in terms of points and goals. We scored a lot more goals under Graham Jones than we are now. You say what you will about Graham Jones. He had a far inferior squad.
Yeah.
And still managed to get more goals out of the team.
Yeah.
You know?
And the players managed to stay fit.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the
I
thing.
just
The
find
players.
That's just bizarre about us. We just cannot, over the last 2 seasons, keep a squad of people fit.
You
We
didn't
go
get
on about how
the
many options
ethos.
we've got,
Didn't
which-
get the ethos of the club. But, you know, Rob Edwards keeps saying, and look, I know Rob isn't going to go anywhere, but Rob keeps saying, I'm a Luton fan. If you're a Luton fan, mate, step away. Forgo the massive payoff you're going to get, you know? Because if you're a Luton fan, even you should see that you're not a good enough manager to turn this around right now. But you know what? He'll keep going.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of team he does pick, whether he stays again. I know we've got a 6 days recovery, suspension, whether we get any players back, whether he gives a couple of the guys on the bench a run out.
Who knows? What's a bench, mate?
The bench doesn't get used anyway.
Yeah.
Just Corley Woodrow sitting.
And that moron.
Well, he won't be on the bench for the next 4 games, will he?
We won't see him till next year now.
Well, you know what? He'll probably get injured while he's off
running laps. Yeah.
Probably get injured. We won't see him for the rest of the season.
Meh.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing.
Maybe force him to get surgery, like Ted and Mengi.
Oh dear.
Oh, but anyway, that's us done for this week. As always, big thank you to our host, the Bricklayers Arms in Luton. If you're a Luton fan and you're looking for somewhere to watch a game that's on TV on match days, come on down here. They got a really impressive Christmas lineup there, haven't they?
Yeah. Santa's Ale, Good Elf, Rosy Nosy.
Yeah, some really cool
Bakewell
ales.
Stout, which
Yeah,
sounds
I
very
know.
intriguing.
Yeah, but we had to help ourselves today. It's a shame because I was looking forward to trying the Bakewell Stout.
Yeah.
But never mind.
We'll get back down here another day.
Yeah. We'll try those sometime during the week. And as always, a big thank you to our audio partners, Black Star Amplification and Carry On, for making sure that we sound great. And if you're ever in Amersham, if you're ever in Amersham, go check out our pod sponsors, the Record Shop. They got vinyl for days, they got CDs, they got guitars. Go check them out. Mention that you follow and watch the OK Football Show, and they'll give you a cheeky little discount.
Go grab some vinyl for Christmas.
Go grab some vinyl, an
place.
outdated type of music.
No,
platform.
it's not.
No,
it's classic.
Okay.
Never
You're
went
gonna
out
get
of
this.
fashion.
If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, which are not outdated, make sure to give us a follow as well, and also subscribe if you're not subscribed to our YouTube. But as always, have a great week, everyone, and a good festive period, although we'll probably be back before then. But as always,
Come on,
Come on,
you
you
hatters.
hatters.